Now it's time for POPVOX. That's POPVOX.com, the weekly bill roundup. All the bills on the Hill in Washington, D.C. These are the bills that you Americans should know about, and POPVOX brings it to us. That's POPVOX.com. And I just take my little spin on things. I'm Will Roberts. All right, here we go. Now, this week, the whole big thing, well, the top bill is immigration reform. It seems as though it's a good reason because both Democrats and Republicans are finding bipartisan support on this. Whether it has to do with economics or it has to do with the 2016 elections, I'm just not sure. I guess that'll come out in the wash. That's depending on who's doing the washing, if you know what I mean. All right, so here are the bills on the Hill. Number 1, S-744. That's the Border Security, Economic Opportunity, and Immigration Modernization Act. It's basically the Comprehensive Immigration Reform Act. Number 2, H.R. 2005, the Personalized Handgun Safety Act. Now, this is the act that they want to get to be able to personalize each gun, not by scribing your name into your guns. I have that, though. It says Will Roberts on my Colt 45s. No, not that. What they want to do is they want to pass a bill to be able to make sure that the guns that come out in the future have this technology that only go by your own hand, which is a great idea, unless you consider the fact that it might take 50 years to get rid of all the ones that don't have it on there. Number 3, the Farm Bill, and that one's called S-954, to reauthorize agricultural programs through 2018. I say you have to go to POPVOX, that's POPVOX.com, to check that one out. Because sometimes you get the bill, and of course it's face down, and you don't know what to expect, and you want to look at it before you give your credit card. I suggest we do the same thing. Number 4, S-122, the Fair Tax Act. This is basically that whole thing about being able to kind of get rid of the IRS, which I bet is real popular right now, and to be able to have this sort of fair tax, one thing. We talk about it on my show, so tune into Will Roberts Weekly Telegram for that one, willsays.com. But anyway, this is the one where they want to do one tax and kind of eliminate the IRS, and, however, it'll never pass. Number 5, H.R. 3, the Northern Route Approval Act. It's basically, this act is for the Keystone Pipeline. Yeah, that's another one we might want to check before we pay the bill. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not just going to be some green sort of tree-hugging person when I talk about this, but I say when we say about footing the bill, we might want to find out what it costs to repair or take care of damage from a leaking pipe. It just goes to show you that the longer your garden hose is, the more you have to search down the line and find the little hole that's spewing out all the water. Number 6, H.R. 1962, the Free Flow of Information Act. This is the whole press thing, leaking and the government wiretapping. Yeah. Number 7, H.R. 1993, the Prevent IRS Overreach Act. That one goes without saying. Number 8, H.R. 1699, the Genetically Engineered Food Right to Know Act. Yeah, I want to know what's in my food, but I've said this before, I'll say it again. If that was the case, I might not ever eat again. Number 9, H.R. 890, the Preservation Work Requirements for Welfare Programs Act. Whew, sounds complicated. Go to POPVOX for that one. Number 10, H.R. 45, surprise, repealing Obamacare. Number 11, this is called the Toomey-Schumer Manchin Amendment. This is where a Democrat and 2 Republicans decided they want to do a bill together, so I think that's worth even looking it over. Take a look at it. POPVOX. Number 12, S-809, the Genetically Engineered Food. It's the same one. H.R. 2058, and that's the Childhood Cancer Survivor Quality of Life Act. Number 14, S-826, the Tobacco Tax and Enforcement Reform Act. Number 15, H.R. 537, the Social Networking Online Protection Act. Number 16, the Salmon Rule. Number 17, H.R. 1921, the Fracturing Responsibility and Awareness of Chemicals. It's about fracking. Check into it. Number 18, H.R. 676, the Expansion and Improvement Medicare for All Act. Number 19, H.R. 1580, to affirm the policy of the United States regarding Internet governance, taxes. And number 20, H.R. 258, the Stolen Valor Act. Well, that's it for this week. Go on down to POPVOX, that's POPVOX.com. Check them out. Get involved. Get with it. If not, then get to your nearest airport, get yourself a ticket to that other country that'll give you a better deal. See you next week. And remember, go to POPVOX, POPVOX.com, and my site, Will Says, WILLSAYS.com.
All the way from the West Coast, it's humorist Will Roberts and his weekly telegram. The highlights and lowlights of all that's happening in and around the world. All right, Will, what's the scoop?
All right, Will Roberts' Weekly Telegram. Will Roberts' Weekly Telegram can be found on Will Says. That's WILLSAYS. Not like the modern day Will I Am, Will with 2 L's. Don't forget it. WillSays.com. Of course, Twitter, you can go to Will Roberts USA, Will Roberts USA. Send us a tweet. I'm on the show here. It's a very special show today. I know I always say that, but it's special today because if you happen to want to and have the fortitude and the stamina, it's a 2-hour show on some stations because we're expanding. We're breaking through everything. We got, I don't know what it is, 12 stations around the United States and abroad that we are now broadcasting, which is exciting. So I've got a second hour with some really incredible stuff. One of the things I'm going to have is a social media minute. Can't decide what to call it yet, but it's going to be very exciting. So I thought to myself, listen, I like to talk about politics because I'm a political humorist, which means I really just poke fun, which is simple. I just read the headlines. And then I also like to talk about social issues. But see, social issues to me aren't just things that are like, people throw their cigarette butts out of their car. Yes, they are. But I also like to get involved in the social media parts because I like to do that. I do my thing called social media simplification, which is doing social media and not spending your whole day away from everybody and being antisocial. So I decided to myself, I need an expert. I need someone that is, bam, clicking, got it going on. And I figured it out. See, I got this really cool thing that I put myself into, all of my blogs. I hate that word, but it's a 4-letter word, blog. But my writings and all of my syndicated humor stuff, and it's called Triberr, Tribe. You know what? I don't even know how to spell it, but I can tell you how to get there because I've got one of the founders. That's right. Absolutely right here. His name is Dino Doggin. Dino, are you there?
I am here, Will.
Am I saying your last name right? I don't want to start off wrong.
It's pretty much on the money. Doggin. Dino Doggin.
Doggin. Okay,
Doggin
I said Doggin.
Is a Turkish last name.
Okay. Good.
And it's pronounced Dovan in Turkey, and it means falcon. So you can call me Falcon if you want.
Wow. How do you say that again with that accent you just said?
Turkish accent?
Yeah.
It's Dovan.
Dovan with a V?
Yeah.
Dovan.
Yeah, and I didn't know this until I was about 25.
Wow. And now you're 26. No, how old are you now? Yeah. All right, listen. Okay, here's the deal. Triber's really cool. First of all, blast out the URL for me. What is it? Spell it.
It's Triberr.com. Triberr.com. It's like tribe with 2 R's at the end.
You really want to extend that word to give it the best bang for its buck. Triberr. Now,
that's right.
I'm going to give my Reader's Digest version of it, but I want you to come back and fix it up and bondo it up and make it sound the way it really is. Triberr is amazing, first of all, because if you've ever been doing any sort of content marketing or anything on the internet ever since, not Dan Quayle, but what's his name, Inconvenient Truth, Gore, ever since he invented the
Al
internet.
Gore.
Yeah, ever since he invented the internet. And you've been on all this
guy.
because I've been, certified SEO, which is search engine optimizer. You want to make sure people find you to any sort of things that are out there. You really have to find this Triberr.com, because what it allows you to do is it allows you to hook up your blog content and be able to get people like-minded to be able to spread the love and the word of what you've written. And the way that you do that is underneath everything you put in your Facebook, your Twitter account, and what it does is bam, it lets people know. So it's kind of like being in a group of people and saying a secret in the middle, and then you go, okay, go tell everybody. And one person may know 5 people, and the other person may 55 people. Some people may know 1 million people, and then hence your content is out and they're delivering it. The beauty of that is that they're delivering it. So it's not like a commercial or spam or junk mail, because they're giving their blessing that they want their readership and their friends to read it. Am I close?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not self-promotion. That's what it comes down to, right?
Right.
You share a little from what your friends are writing, and your friends are sharing what you're writing.
Right.
So it's cross-promotion, because nobody likes that guy that keeps yelling, hey, buy my stuff, read my thing. You know what I mean?
I do. I think I know what you mean, because it's like when I was younger, my mom used to sell Tupperware to all of her friends, and after about a month, she had no of her friends because she kept trying to do Tupperware parties.
Right, exactly. It doesn't work, right? The direct selling thing, right? It just doesn't work. You can't go up to a girl and say, hey, girl, I'm really handsome, I'm really great in bed, and I have lots of money. You can't do that. I mean, you can, but it's not going to be very successful, right?
Well, it depends on where I lived in Vegas. I lived in Vegas, brother. So you can be successful at that, but you have to have a wad of 20s in the other hand.
Right. Pull out a Black American Express card.
That's right.
You have to cybertize. Right? Someone has to say that stuff on your behalf. And then it carries so much more clout, so much more weight.
So it's really, again, I've said this before, I say it again, the term word of mouth nowadays is really just called social media. So you really just get your tribe. And it's kind of cool, because I'm personally think I have 20 tribes of different places. And the cool thing is this. I want to tell you something about this, Dino, that I just realized this literally yesterday. I was looking through my approving, because what happens, folks, is you get this dashboard. You get a profile, like, any other social media. It's a really great thing. And Dino and Dan, the other guy, are always constantly trying to bob and weave and try to make things a lot easier and simpler. And nowadays, thank you for that. But here's the cool thing. I was looking through all of the different ones that I was approving, because you have to actually go in there. There are other ways, but you have to go in there and approve the stories that you will retweet for other people. And I looked at this and I went, man, if I had a newspaper like this, wow, this would be cool, because it allowed me to be able to look through these things and go, and every time I read it, I have a hard time getting through all of them, because I wind up clicking on a lot of other people's stuff and reading theirs. So the cool benefit is that you really have created this personalized newspaper.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of our goals. We are creating Triberr. We started it as a platform for bloggers.
Uh-huh.
But bloggers are some of the most ferocious consumers of content as well, as you well know.
I do.
Right? So when they're in their reader mode, when they're in their content consumption mode, we really want to give them a pleasant experience. So you've noticed, if you click on an article, it opens up in a window, right? There's no distracting ads or pop-ups.
Right.
The font is nice and big. We draw the shades. We darken the rest of the screen, so you can focus just on the content.
Nice.
And the whole idea behind that was to really honor the reader.
Good.
If you want to read something, we want to create an environment that's conducive to content consumption.
Wow. I have to tell you that, again, I see this and I watch it all the time. I'm on Triberr all the time just because, and this is not an ad. Again, folks, remember, Will Roberts Weekly Telegram, willsays.com, is never about, I'm kind of commercial free because I don't really want anybody to pay me because that means that I have to say something that I might not want to say. I truly believe in a lot of the, or most of everything I put on the show. If not, then I try to argue it in a very sort of a whisper fashion and not screaming at people. That's what makes what I'm doing talk with you radio, not talk at you or talk down to you. But here's the thing. I really believe this is a great idea because nowadays we are just constantly barraged by things, and it is it's the most difficult thing in the world to get through your day and just constantly be shoved things at you. And Triberr really allows you to be able to get your word out and really find, here it is, here's the word, I've been saying it, a community. A community of people that think alike and follow a certain rule. They have the respect, which I appreciate you all have laid out, that there is a respect there. So I love your product.
Thank you.
I love you
back, man.
I love you. Well, I love you back. So there it is. So okay. So let's do a real quick thing here before we go to our break. I'm Joe Public or Josephine Public, and I want to, because I got a blog that talks about recipes, and I really want to get it out there. Let me ask you, how do I get started? How do I get started?
Assuming you have quality content, and you just go to Triberr.com, you sign up. It's fairly simple. We're always thinking of how to do things better, so I'm going to take a little side trip for a second. We don't store your password. If we don't store your password, that means your password can never be hacked if you're on Triberr.
Right.
So you authenticate with like Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. So we let one of these big sites handle the password authentication thing.
Okay, right? Stop you, because we're going to go to a break. When we come back, you're going to learn all these different things you never knew about how to get yourself out there. But I wanted to stop you on this top secret thing about no passwords. Hey, Triberr.com, Will Roberts Weekly Telegram. We'll be right back after this message. Hey, folks, here's some great old public service announcements. I'm going to sprinkle them throughout the show. Enjoy.
Ladies, there's still a shortage of fats to make soap. So save and sell every pound of used kitchen fats. And remember, you get more money for used fat today, so keep saving it and keep selling it. Waste fat makes soap, so don't waste fat. Fill a tin and turn it in.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I call a spade and stop being an entertainer? When this war came, our soldiers left their homes to defend yours. You stayed comfortably in your own home during the war with a roof over your head. They lived in foxholes, if they lived. Now, these veterans can't find homes to live in. Remember, if it weren't for them leaving their homes to protect yours, you might not have yours right now. So give them a break, will you? Good night.
Ah, the great outdoors. With sunny weather, blooming flowers, and fresh air, many prefer to spend their time outside. If you have Social Security business to tend to, that's no reason to ditch the outdoors. You don't have to wait in an office. You can handle much of your Social Security business from your laptop, wherever you want to be. You can do research, use My Social Security, even apply for benefits online as you sit on the beach. As long as you have an internet connection, you can do business with Social Security. So enjoy the great outdoors. We'll bring the office to you, wherever you want to be. Learn more and do more at www.socialsecurity.gov. That web address again is www.socialsecurity.gov.
Okay, astronaut, you're up. You'll be meeting with Wish Kid Brandon.
Roger, Brandon.
His wish is to see a space shuttle launch.
All systems are go. We are clear for liftoff.
This year, more than 27,000 children will be diagnosed with a life-threatening medical condition.
And, Cowboy?
Yes, ma'am.
You'll be meeting with Shayla at a dude ranch in San Antonio.
Let's saddle up.
Some will miss school. Some will miss time with their family and friends.
Princess, are you here?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for rescuing me from that evil witch.
Juliana wishes for a princess-themed room makeover.
That sounds magical.
But with your help, the Make-A-Wish Foundation can lift their spirits and give them a special kind of hope.
Pirate.
Yar.
You're up for Isaac's wish.
Aye, aye, Captain.
The wishes of thousands of children are waiting to come true.
You can help make my wish happen. Visit wish.org today.
You may be hearing about people having trouble making mortgage payments and risking losing their homes. Many of them just aren't aware of the options that can prevent foreclosure. There are many options available to homeowners, such as repayment and forbearance plans, loan modifications, and even refinancing. Where does someone go for help? They should talk directly with their lender or a qualified HUD-approved counseling agency. Both can provide helpful information without charging a fee. According to PMI Mortgage Insurance Company, it's not a good idea to pay for services that you can get for free from a lender or a qualified nonprofit counseling agency. To learn more, visit homesafepmi.com or call HUD at 1-800-569-4287 for a counseling agency near you. That's 1-800-569-4287. This message is brought to you by PMI, supporting sustainable home ownership that strengthens communities.
All right, Will Roberts' weekly telegram, humor, politics, social issues, and just overall, just a whole bag of fun tricks that you can get and use in your life. And even if you don't want to use it, you can just sit here mindlessly staring at your iPhone or your Android and just know that not everybody's attacking the world. But here we go. All right, back on the show, I'm with Dino Dogan, and he is one of the founders of a great site called Triberr. But I really think of it more than a site. It's just it's a really great concept. Again, if you just tuned in, Triberr is this really great. Wait, stop. Dino, tell us what Triberr is again.
Triberr is essentially a social network for bloggers, and it has certain features that bloggers need. It has the distribution piece. So when you write a blog post, your tribe mates, your people that you connect with on Triberr, can blow that out to via their social profiles on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on G+, and so on. Wow. So really great way to get your content out there. It's a great way to connect with other bloggers.
Good. Okay, so before we went to the break, we were talking about how to get started. Now, we've got about 3 minutes left, so you have to kind of give us the Reader's Digest version. We know now that when you put your username and password in, your password is never held because you wanted why?
Well, for security reasons. We wanted big boys to take care of the security piece. So I think that's just a kind of a clever thing that we geeked out on, and we're very proud of that. But more importantly is, you mentioned a cooking blog. If you have a cooking blog, you go to Triberr. It's very easy to sign up. You authenticate with Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn. We'll ask you a couple of questions. The most important one is, are you a blogger? And if you say yes, we'll ask you for your blog, and we'll set you up as a blogger. And once you're all set up, we'll import your content so that people that you connect with can actually see it.
Right.
So once you're all set up, you just do a search for cooking, and you'll see a ton of tribes that have something to do with cooking. Click on those tribes, explore the members, explore the content. If you find a tribe whose content is great, find a tribe whose content you would share, even if they never shared yours.
Wow.
That's a great tribe to follow.
Wow.
So you follow that tribe, and we're going to ask you a question. We're going to ask you a question, would you like to be promoted to a full-fledged member? Now, if you just want to read the content, you just say, no, I'll just follow the tribe, and we'll send you the posts from that tribe. But if you say yes, the chief of that tribe will receive an email saying, hey, Will wants to join this tribe as a full-fledged member. Here's his Twitter ID. Here's his blog. Go check him out. Wow. If Will fits the makeup of the tribe, Will gets an invite.
All right. Hey, well, Triberr.com, Triberr.com. You can go there, check it out. Even if you don't tie your shoes and use Velcro because that's too difficult, this is really easy. Now, I want to ask you one thing, I want to ask you, in my second hour, we're going to be putting an insert in there of about 9 minutes. I'd like you guys to come back every week and give us a little social media tip of the week or some sort of news in social media that helps us understand what's going on out there. Can you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be my pleasure.
All right, good. Again, the website is Triberr.com. Go there, check it out. We'll talk to you soon. All right, Will Roberts Weekly Telegram. Will says, WILLSAYS.com. I'm going to keep saying that to you like marketing 9 times so you don't forget it. It's kind of like facts nowadays. Just keep saying it. All right, well, here we are in a great part of the show that I like to be able to inform people. Well, I like to believe I inform people all the time, but it's the POPVOX part of the show. It's Rachna right from the Hill. And I found out today that she literally is like a beat cop. She works the beat, talks to her interns, gets the information about the bill. So here she is. Rachna, how are you? And what's going on the Hill today?
Well, it's been a busy week in D.C. and a lot of talk about a new issue that we haven't discussed previously, which is sexual assault in the military. Have you been following this issue?
I have, because when we brought this up a couple of weeks ago, and because of the kidnapping, and then the whole guy that was the military guy that was basically caught because he was the one who was supposed to stop people from having any kind of wrongdoing in the military with sexual behavior, was caught having sexual behavior not by voluntary, what I mean? No. So, and then it became a women's issue, in my opinion. But go on.
Well, the whole conversation started earlier this month when a Pentagon survey, an anonymous survey of active duty service members, estimated 26,000 sexual assaults in the military last year. But the actual reports of sexual assault incidences was far lower. There were only about 3,000 reports of sexual assault in that same year. And that brought, a lot of attention to what's happening in the military. And, of course, the Defense Department came out with a new strategic plan to address this issue. And then Congress is taking action as well. So this week on POPVOX, we've been highlighting sexual assault in the military-related legislation and proposals that are moving through Congress.
Wow. So really, in essence, this whole 3,000 not being true and really 26,000 or something is kind of like the government's don't ask, don't tell, because really they're, from what I remember hearing about the reports, they were kind of just sweeping it under the rug. And I guess that would happen if one of the main people trying to push this forward was really hiding it.
Right. But the approach that Congress is looking at, as well as the Defense Department, is has many points to it, and the first being, how do you get more rigorous training and screening of officers that deal with sexual assault prevention, but then also whistleblower protections for victims, and then an appropriate way of victims to seek justice as well. So because this is a multifaceted issue, there's been a lot of proposals in Congress to address this.
Well, it's kind of weird to me because the fact is that you're basically saying that you want the old boys club to put you want to put a muzzle on the old boys club. You're talking about, no offense, but there's a reason why, like Defending the Caveman, that show that talks about guys, dragging women around by their hair and so on. I don't really think a lot of that stuff has changed, and I hate to say it, but I think if you really want to solve this problem, my suggestion is hire a woman. Because the fact is that, it's in most crimes. When was the last time you saw a female terrorist or a female running into a building with a gun with a high capacity, or a woman doing anything that was this odd and strange? You don't. So why don't we just start hiring the women? That's what I think.
That's a whole whole nother conversation.
It is a whole nother conversation, but I just want to say I really think that's interesting. So I guess the point now is that they just want to kind of get this into a bill. What's the bill called again?
Well, there's about a dozen different bills addressing different facets of this issue. So there's not just one, but we're highlighting all of them on POPVOX.com.
Yeah, you are. And I have to tell you that I'm going to get on there because you can be interactive there and just put in there that we should combine all the bills into Stop It. The Stop It bill. So anyway, okay, hey, Rachna, again, a fun time and a quick time. POPVOX, that's POPVOX.com. Go there, check out their tools, become active, and you know what? Just get involved. And you can get involved and be really part of the process and not the one that puts a wrench in the cog. We'll see you next week, okay, Rachna?
Thank you.
At this moment, throughout the country, millions of motorists are beginning to wend their way home along crowded highways from a long Independence Day weekend. It is at times such as these when accidents happen more frequently, when death and driving draw closer together. You can help to decrease the accident and death rate on our nation's highways. Excessive speed for driving conditions is a major cause of many motor accidents. Control your speed at all times to keep within the safe speed, not just the legal limit. America's professional truck drivers are taught to drive ahead of themselves and to avoid accidents by seeing them threaten before they can happen. They know that careful driving keeps them from having accidents which may take lives. Speed is the #1 killer on the highways. So drive carefully today on your way home from an enjoyable weekend, and tomorrow wherever you go in your car. Exercise caution, courtesy, and the golden rule, for the life you save may be your own.
Ah, the great outdoors. With sunny weather, blooming flowers, and fresh air, many prefer to spend their time outside. If you have Social Security business to tend to, that's no reason to ditch the outdoors. You don't have to wait in an office. You can handle much of your Social Security business from your laptop, wherever you want to be. You can do research, use My Social Security, even apply for benefits online as you sit on the beach. As long as you have an internet connection, you can do business with Social Security. So enjoy the great outdoors. We'll bring the office to you, wherever you want to be. Learn more and do more at www.socialsecurity.gov. That web address again is www.socialsecurity.gov.
Okay, astronaut, you're up. You'll be meeting with Wish Kid Brandon.
Roger, Brandon.
His wish is to see a space shuttle launch.
All systems are go. We are clear for liftoff.
This year, more than 27,000 children will be diagnosed with a life-threatening medical condition.
And Cowboy?
Yes, ma'am.
You'll be meeting with Shayla at a dude ranch in San Antonio.
Let's saddle up.
Some will miss school. Some will miss time with their family and friends.
Princess, are you here?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for rescuing me from that evil witch.
Juliana wishes for a princess-themed room makeover.
That sounds magical.
But with your help, the Make-A-Wish Foundation can lift their spirits and give them a special kind of hope.
Pirate.
Yar.
You're up for Isaac's wish.
Aye, aye, Captain.
The wishes of thousands of children are waiting to come true.
You can help make my wish happen. Visit wish.org today.
You may be hearing about people having trouble making mortgage payments and risking losing their homes. Many of them just aren't aware of the options that can prevent foreclosure. There are many options available to homeowners, such as repayment and forbearance plans, loan modifications, and even refinancing. Where does someone go for help? They should talk directly with their lender or a qualified HUD-approved counseling agency. Both can provide helpful information without charging a fee. According to PMI Mortgage Insurance Company, it's not a good idea to pay for services that you can get for free from a lender or a qualified nonprofit counseling agency. To learn more, visit homesafepmi.com or call HUD at 1-800-569-4287 for a counseling agency near you. That's 1-800-569-4287. This message is brought to you by PMI, supporting sustainable home ownership that strengthens communities.
All right, Will Roberts Weekly Telegram, and we are back from our break, and I hope you enjoyed the break from the intense conversation we're having about social media, which is definitely an intense subject. But now it's time for the part of the show where I like to get a little crazy, a little Wild West on you, and get a little radical with our roving radical, Johnny. Only a face a mother could love. Here's your intro. It's foreign to me. Hey, Johnny, what's happening, brother? What's going on? Where are you?
I'm back in Arizona right now, looking at everything going on in the world. It is a crazy time, definitely. We got a lot going on.
We do.
But but right now, we gotta talk about some of the things. And listeners, this is the misenfranchised news from the Fiasco News Syndicate, and it is foreign to me how we continually allow our freedom to be compromised in a never-ending pursuit of comfort and sloth in this modern world. It seems like there's a very real possibility here that we will just keep going this downward spiral of uber convenience, making everything as easy as possible, better tasting and less strenuous, until the human race perishes because we become too fat and lazy to reach the remote. I think we inevitably die choking on the wrappers of an ever-growing pile of our own over-packaged existence.
Speak the truth, brother.
Here we are. We continually submit to the prospect of convenience as we disregard the responsibility new technology warrants. And here's the case in point, okay? Online privacy has been out of control since Al Gore invented the internet. With companies tracking our every move online and big data mining, throwing personal ads up on your friends, you and your friends' social network searches, tailored to your personal interest.
I hate it.
There's going to be a lot of porn on my pages, but now face print privacy is out of control as well.
Wait, what is it?
Technology.
What is it?
Face print technology. I don't know if you've been following this.
No.
No. But the technology of face print recognition. Things that recognize a camera recognizes your face and can find you, and apparently everything about you now through just a picture of you.
Wait, let me stop you. Wait, you're talking about You're talking about the fact that you can take a picture of someone's face and you can know their shoe size, their blood type. What are you talking about?
Pretty much. Now, face print technology, recognition stuff, has grown exponentially in the last decade, and the laws protecting our privacy in this arena have barely even begun to be conceived, let alone established in any way.
Wow.
And this technology is amazing, but regulation for face print technology and use is non-existent here in the U.S. for companies and corporations. Now, the government has certain limitations on using this technology, but only because they're not authorized yet to use it, not because of regulation against them using it. Now, other countries, like those socialists over in Europe, they have implemented severe regulations in this area. But here in the land of the free enterprise, we let companies who can pay lobbyists the most make the laws. So, nada. We got no regulation in this data arena. It's amazing.
That's crazy. I wonder if they are going to come out with one that scans your thighs to let you know if you're eating really badly. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, that's where it's going, The technology now exists to take a photo of you off a tagged picture on Facebook and turn up your social security number.
Are you serious?
Information.
Are you serious?
And this can be done in a search using software you can buy on the internet. You could be doing this yourself. Now, it is scary enough and maybe wonderful in a way that the government may do this, okay? The applications, for criminal detection alone are amazing. However, it won't end there with the government, right? But what is really terrifying is that companies and individuals can use this technology uninhibited in the United States. And I'm not just talking about walking into a restaurant and immediately getting a text coupon for your favorite dish in that restaurant, okay? That's just how they get you to let them use it, okay? Thinking you're going to get $1 off on a dish when you walk into, Bonnie's, I don't know. But before you know it, FacePrint technology allowing you access to your appliances, limiting the use of your bank account. The next thing you know, you're getting tickets for jaywalking when nobody's around and having drinks at your local bar limited by your body weight.
Well, I'll tell you, wait a second. In Arizona, they have that I got caught by the, what do you call it, the traffic, the light traffic cameras. And it's number one, I know what you're saying, but I'll tell you the other part was embarrassing because I tend to, when I'm thinking, leave my mouth open. And my wife's like, that's you in this picture with your mouth open. Yeah.
You're like picking your nose as you go down the road.
Embarrassing. But wait, I have to tell you that I think the way to maybe solve this is that from now on, everybody that hears this, your profile pictures on your Facebook or your Twitter and thing, I would say you go with either Obama or Brad Pitt. Just don't do Romney or the IRS might come after you.
Every camera you come across tracking you, recognizing you, and data mining your activity. Profiling your age, gender, race, and interests.
Well, I can imagine.
Profiling implications alone are scary enough.
I can imagine that, this would be a great tool for, I hate to use the word great, but for marketing people, and so they would be able to do like, you're this and this age, and they'd be able to, target you to sell you stuff too, and I'm tired of that.
Of course, and they're doing that already online, they data mine our activity online, but now they can do it with every single camera. Cameras are everywhere, right? You walk into a store, your picture is taken. You walk down the street, your picture is taken. And, they now can find out everything about you.
I know. It's insane.
And so it's just 30 years after 1984, and we find out now that Big Brother is not the government. It's corporations.
Yeah, it is.
They are the they we talk about in whispers, and they are conglomerating and commercializing everything, even your face.
It makes me crazy when I think about this every day. I'm trying not to live my life as a conspiracy theorist, but it becomes difficult when you think about all the different things happening. And technology is a good thing because it allows us to be able to simplify, but also it becomes the carrot at the end of the stick. It also becomes the heroin that you put in your arm, and it also becomes the sexy person in the bikini or the swimsuit, guy, male, or female, whatever, that makes you kind of live your life going, ooh, I want that. And then when you get it, boom, it's like a fish hook with a barb in it. You can't get it out. And lo and behold, are we really servicing our people or what? I don't know.
Well, that's it. They get us on the marketing of this stuff, that I'm going to save money because they're going to, I'm going to walk into this restaurant and get $1 off on a drink with my meal, And this is how they get us, by these things that it's going to do for us in our, with our money, with whatnot. But it doesn't end there.
No. Hey, hey, Johnny.
That's just how they hook us in.
All right. Well, Johnny, we really appreciate it. Our roving radical, hotshotperformer.com. Thanks. We'll talk to you next week, and I'm not going to show my face at all in public. All right.
See you, Will.
All right. Bye.
This is London Calling.
Indeed, this is London Calling, and this is Neil Fagan with all the news that's going on this week. Well, in the news, Scotland prepares to take a vote to become independent, and the politicians from both sides are out peddling their own versions of the truth. On one hand, we have Alex Salmond, leader of the SNP, that's the Scottish National Party, and leader of the Scottish Parliament, declaring that with oil and gas reserves, Scotland can be truly independent. But he does rather like the idea of keeping the currency as the British pound. On the other side, we have George Osborne, stating that in order for Scotland to retain the pound, the British government would require fiscal control over the banks and government accounts. This brought on cries of foul play by the Scottish nationalists. However, it does strike the casual English observer that the SNP want their cake and eat it. This also begs the question, will we need to lose the term the United Kingdom? Well, only time will tell, and as with all good political stories, I'm sure there will be a compromise somewhere. Also in the news, the bankers are at it again. State-owned Lloyds Bank has been told to sell off their high street branches to a smaller independent organisation. Well, in stepped the cooperative bank to make a bid, and all looked good to go, until today, when the co-op's chief executive announced the deal is off. Why? Well, the lack of growth in the UK economy is to blame as austerity measures bite deep into society. The calling off of the deal has received scathing comments from the government. However, the reality is, change your policy, create growth, and maybe someone will invest. You've been listening to Neil Fagan from London Calling.
At this time of the year, we spend a lot of time out of doors, hiking and camping and on picnic trips in the woods and the mountains. That means more danger of forest fires. This summer, thousands of acres of valuable timberland will be destroyed because of carelessness. And in these days of defense emergency, our natural resources are more vital than ever. It's up to you to be sure that you do not cause the tragedy, the shameful waste brought about by a forest fire. Just follow a few simple rules. Crush out cigarettes, cigar, and pipe ashes. Break matches in two after using them. Drown all campfires, then stir and drown them again. Find out the law before using any kind of fire. Forest fires destroy timber, wildlife, and the water supply. They destroy the natural resources on which our nation depends. So don't be careless for a moment when you're in the mountains or woodlands. Forest fires are our most shameful waste. So remember, only you can prevent forest fires. Now, Act 2 of Tales of the Texas Rangers.
Ah, the great outdoors. With sunny weather, blooming flowers, and fresh air, many prefer to spend their time outside. If you have Social Security business to tend to, that's no reason to ditch the outdoors. You don't have to wait in an office. You can handle much of your Social Security business from your laptop, wherever you want to be. You can do research, use My Social Security, even apply for benefits online as you sit on the beach. As long as you have an internet connection, you can do business with Social Security. So enjoy the great outdoors. We'll bring the office to you, wherever you want to be. Learn more and do more at www.socialsecurity.gov. That web address again is www.socialsecurity.gov.
Okay, astronaut, you're up. You'll be meeting with Wish Kid Brandon.
Roger, Brandon.
His wish is to see a space shuttle launch.
All systems are go. We are clear for liftoff.
This year, more than 27,000 children will be diagnosed with a life-threatening medical condition.
And, Cowboy?
Yes, ma'am.
You'll be meeting with Shayla at a dude ranch in San Antonio.
Let's saddle up.
Some will miss school. Some will miss time with their family and friends.
Princess, are you here?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for rescuing me from that evil witch.
Juliana wishes for a princess-themed room makeover.
That sounds magical.
But with your help, the Make-A-Wish Foundation can lift their spirits and give them a special kind of hope.
Pirate.
Yar.
You're up for Isaac's wish.
Aye, aye, Captain.
The wishes of thousands of children are waiting to come true.
You can help make my wish happen. Visit wish.org today.
You may be hearing about people having trouble making mortgage payments and risking losing their homes. Many of them just aren't aware of the options that can prevent foreclosure. There are many options available to homeowners, such as repayment and forbearance plans, loan modifications, and even refinancing. Where does someone go for help? They should talk directly with their lender or a qualified HUD-approved counseling agency. Both can provide helpful information without charging a fee. According to PMI Mortgage Insurance Company, it's not a good idea to pay for services that you can get for free from a lender or a qualified nonprofit counseling agency. To learn more, visit homesafepmi.com or call HUD at 1-800 1-800-569-4287 for a counseling agency near you. That's 1-800-569-4287. This message is brought to you by PMI, supporting sustainable home ownership that strengthens communities.
Will Roberts Weekly Telegram. We are back on the show, and a part of the show that, of course, I love because from a sense, like sixth sense type of thing in our bodies and our minds and our worlds, this is my segment that I love to be able to bring to you folks because it is visual radio, but it's also touch, sense, smell, taste, all that fun stuff. It's Armand Thomas and Picture This.
Picture this. Chatting up corners of the world.
All right, picture this, ArmandThomas.com, and he is our photographer, our story person. He has traveled the world and given us some great subjects and great places. But you know what? I was having a conversation with him about a lot of his art, and lo and behold, did I realize in my mind that, you know, I look at his photography, and one of the great reasons why I believe it to be not just pictures, and it tells a story, and he's so good at that, is that he's not only taking pictures of people, he's taking pictures of buildings and food and things that we grab when you're there that you associate. When you go to Paris, do you associate baguettes? I do, because that's what they feed you with meat on them. And, you know, Armand, you're there. Tell him, am I right?
Well, travel is not just about going to sightsee and, take pictures of a cityscape and the wonderful architecture. It's also about food, what people eat. And I like that you say it's a sensory experience traveling. It certainly is. And one of them, maybe the highlight of it in many cases, is the taste buds, eating in these different countries.
Well, it really sets it in your mind when you go to a place. I mean, there are lots of things. You can smell things, and it's like smell-o-vision, where you can smell something and go, oh, you know, when I was a kid, I went to a bookstore, and I remember that paper smell. But it's the same thing with your taste buds and your food. You can say, I had a wonderful time and ate somewhere. You can also say, I had a miserable time. I was in England and tasted some really icky stuff, and there was bland. And then you go, oh, my experience is that.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian since I was a kid, so that's over 40 years. But food being so, ubiquitous, it's, the essence of our life, is a great conversation starter. It's a topic that's anywhere you go. I shoot a lot of food just because it tells the story of the place, but it also opens up relationships, conversations. I don't necessarily shoot just what I like to eat. There's a lot of meat stuff in my gallery. A lot of hanging carcasses, like in Third World. And you know what they say about hanging carcasses, Will? Make sure you buy the meat with the flies on it because it's the freshest.
I heard that. And, I'm looking at the second picture in this sequence, and I'm seeing the hanging meat, and lo and behold, I didn't see on the bottom the cat, which is funny because when you think about it, you're taking pictures of this meat, and you're right, it does define an area and how their markets are, and of course the fresh and the flies, but also, that cat would never be in an American market because people might be going, oh my gosh, FDA, but it's amazing looking at their food. What is that, you think? Is that lamb or something,
Well, I don't know. It looks like beef to me, but again, what do I know?
I'm asking you.
What it was, it was very picturesque. Look at the colors and, the person who represents the country in his native garb.
Yeah.
And it's right there, and it's easy to shoot food, and anybody who likes to travel and take pictures, that is certainly one of the subjects that I encourage people to focus on. You can do an expose of just food. It's become fashionable now to sit down at a restaurant and take your iPhone out and take a picture of the meal that's being served, but that's not quite what I'm talking about.
No, but I'll tell you what's interesting. I'm going to give you a little compliment here is that looking at this one with the olives, and I'm not sure those might be beans or whatever it is. What is it? Lupins, which is that basically what is that then?
Well, it's I don't know, it's a grain, I guess, but it has a very thin skin, and you press it, and there's a little hole at the top of the lupini, and the seed ends up in your mouth, and you're holding a skim.
Oh, wow.
It's very popular snack in the Middle East, Italy, along the Mediterranean.
Wow. Well, I have to tell you, the compliment is that I'm not sure if I'm really complimenting the person who laid this out or you by the mere fact that you have captured a color. I can't even explain this. Folks, again, ArmandThomas.com. Go to the site, Will Roberts Weekly Telegram, WillSays.com. This picture of this yellows and the browns and the different tones and the greens, I'm amazed by this picture purely by the fact that it just looks like it was set up by some Hollywood Food Network program, and you captured this really great. I want those right now.
Yeah, well, it's certainly not set up. It's at the market that you come across, especially in, let's say, less first world countries. Perhaps Italy is a first world, but they have the open markets and, color, natural color, visuals, food has an abundance of photographic opportunities. And any market you go to, even if you go to Palo Alto, I mean, there's going to be this kind of a setup. Taking pictures is just basically what you see and making it into art.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, it's also knowing when to snap the picture. I mean, nowadays, of course, we have the beauty of being able to snap 5,000 pictures and not worrying that we're spending $5,000 in film. But anyway, ArmandThomas.com, and picture this. This is our wonderful program, and this week we've been talking about food. If you want to see more of his incredible work, you go to ArmandThomas.com. And, in closing, I just want to say that I'm glad that we have elaborated, or I should say broken down the walls of just photography and what you're doing to be just, looking at this from a perspective of locations. And now you're bringing this new element into it. So I really want to tell you how much I appreciate it. You have 10 seconds. Anything else you want to leave us with?
No, I'm going to go eat. I'm hungry.
Me too. So I'm getting out of here. Hey, I'm going to go to a break, and when I come back, hopefully I won't be talking with my mouth full. Well, that's the show for this week. Well, I mean, this part of the show, the first hour. If you're not sticking around with us for the second hour, again, let your radio stations in your town know you want Will Roberts Weekly Telegram in your area. But if you're not sticking around, we'll see you next week. But let me leave you with something. Recently, and that means this last week, there was a tremendous, horrible hurricane, or a tornado, I should say, that happened in Oklahoma. And as a matter of fact, we broadcast in Oklahoma in 2 stations, an AM and an FM, KKRP. And I just want to kind of make the call out to folks to get a chance to donate, to help out. Try to keep this positive, although the news cycle pretty much for the last 2 or 3 days has only been that, which I'm sure that our president is glad for the break, certainly not for what was broken in this horrible, horrible storm. But it's another true testament to, I guess you could say, the power of women. You know what I mean? Mother Nature. It's something that sneaks up on us, and whether or not you call it global warming or you just call it a bad cold in our atmosphere, it doesn't really matter. When all is said and done and we, I guess you say, blow our nose and get through the cold, we then get to deal with the warmth of all of our families and the people around us. It's truly when we find out that we do have communities and we do have people that care. So I want you all to do me a favor, and even if you just call someone that you know in that area or someone that knows someone in that area and tell them that you know that they're there, that you're there to support them, it is a tremendous thing. One other thing I'll say to you is I want you to know that you should try to contact your local Red Cross and see if there's anything that you can do. Anything that you can do to either donate money or some time that you can take to help the folks in Moore, Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a fine place. In Oklahoma, we just want you to know one big important thing. You're still okay to us, and we'll help you out in any way we can. Again, I hope you go to our website. If you do and you want to send any support that way, I'll certainly send the prayers and thoughts to them because I've got lots of friends in Oklahoma. It's a Will Rogers thing. All right, Will Roberts Weekly Telegram, willsays.com. That's WILLSAYS.com. says.com. We'll see you next week. Have a great day. Be safe.
To the Guerrilla Media Network, the official radio station of the Global Revolution, broadcasting your favorite shows 24/7 on beforeitsnews.com.
Hello, this is Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I want to tell you about my new favorite discovery, Yosemite National Park. I recently went there with my husband and children, and we walked the trails to see the breathtaking waterfalls, admired the grand meadows, and giant sequoias. But the future of our national parks is uncertain. Many challenges face our parks today, from polluted air and water to development threats outside their borders and inadequate funding to protect our national heritage. That's why the National Parks Conservation Association recently completed a decade-long assessment of the challenges facing our national parks, along with proposed actions that will ensure our children and grandchildren will be able to enjoy the parks as we have. Our national parks have inspired Americans for nearly 100 years. As we approach the centennial of the National Park Service in 2016, please join us in helping to protect our national park legacy. Find out how at www.mpca.org.